ahorita antes de venir, ¿se tiene que ver?
A mí me está matando yo.
Okay. Hope that you guys had a good weekend. Okay, we are going on to unit 3 today. Okay, so today your notes are, they look a little bit long, but they actually shouldn't take very long because most of it you're just looking at the graph and then picking the y value. So for number 1, here's what you're gonna do. First thing is go through your graph and I want you to draw in all of the pretty points. Okay, so if it's not a perfect point, then you're gonna skip it. So for example here, okay, this one's good. This one's good. Okay, and just put all your dots through on your pretty points. Okay, just like that. Okay, Alina, can we do the makeup after this? Okay. So put all your pretty points. And then from there, if you get f of a number, the number on the inside is going to be the x value. And then the answer that you put here is going to be the y value. Okay. So let me show you what I mean by that. If you're doing the first one here, you want f of 0, yes? Yes. Come here, Shayla, grab it. F of 0, you're going to go to 0 on the x-axis. And then find where your pretty point is. By the calculators. So if I go to 0, 0 is right here. Then I want to go up and down to the closest pretty point. The closest one is right here, which is at a height of 2. Notice that I'm using a positive 2 because my dot was up, not down. Okay, now let's do the second one. Okay, this time my x value is 2. So then I'm going to go on my chart to where 2 is on the x-axis. So 2 is right here. And then I'm going to see how high up my dot is on the y-axis. So I'd have to come all the way up to here. How high is that? How many? How many boxes up is that? Would be 6, right? You'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to that point. Okay, the next one, you want f of -3. So then you're going to start off. -3 would be here. Notice we're always starting on the x-axis. And then we're tracing down to where that point is. And then you're going to see what y value that point is at. So y is at -4. Do we see that? Bless you. Okay, now take a look at the second one. Okay, this one was labeled f of x, which means that you're going to use this graph for problems with f in it. Okay, but if it has a g in it like this one, see the g's? Okay, then you're going to use the table because its name is g of x. So you're going to use this one for g of x. Okay. So the first thing that I want is g of -1. So remember the number on the inside is the x value. So then I'm going to find where my x is a -1. That's this column. -1 is right here. And then I'm going to pick the partner that goes with it, which is 2. Okay, Layla, can we get her head up, please, honey? Okay, next one is g of 0. So 0 is the X value, and then remember that my answer should be the Y value. So if I'm looking for G of 0, I'm gonna find 0 here. And then I'm gonna pick the partner with it is 4. So the first number is the X, the number that you're giving back is the Y. Okay, next one, I want G of 4. So then I'm gonna find 4 in the X column is right here. The number with it is 12. Does that make sense so far? So if it's a graph, you're looking for the pretty point. If it's a chart, you're just gonna find it in the table. Okay, now let's get into operations. If you see this on your practice, where it's this plus this, then all that you have to do is find both of these numbers, and then you're just gonna add them, okay? So let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, I want f of 0. So then did we already find f of 0 right here? What was the number for that? F of 0 was 2. Okay, and then plus. And then I'm looking for G of -1. So G of -1, if I look at my notes, I already did it. G of -1 was a 2 again. And then the symbol in the middle is a plus sign. So I had you get a calculator. Obviously 2 plus 2 is a little bit easy, but what's 2 plus 2 for the final answer there? 2 plus 2, what's that? 4. Very good. Okay. Now, all of your equations are not going to be plus. Some of them will be minus. So we'll do a couple more examples. Okay, look at the next one. I want f of 2 plus g of 2. So I need to find both of those numbers, and then I'm going to do a plus in the middle. So f of 2, if you look at your notes, f of 2 is right here. What did it come out to be? 6 plus. And then I'm looking for g of 2. Look at the g's we found. Did we already find g of 2? Okay, not yet. So then we'll use the chart. So if I come up here to g of 2, 2's partner is 8. So if it's a new one, you'll just go back and look at your chart. And then what's 6 plus 8? You can put it in your calculator here. Okay, 6 plus 8 is 14. Okay. So you're gonna find the numbers first and then add them if it's a plus. Okay, look at the next one. I want f of -3. So look at the f's. Did I already find f of -3? Did we already find it? Okay, do you see f of -3 already on your notes? What was the answer for that? -4 plus. Next, I want g of 0. So then I look over here. Did I already find g of 0? Okay, g of 0 was 4. And then in your calculator, put it in. What's -4 plus 4? -4 plus 4. Well, and it's going to be 0. Very good. Okay. All right. One more like that. I want f of 2. So then I'm going to look at the ones I already did. I see I already found f of 2 right here. What was the answer? 6. And then when I go to find g of -3, I see that I haven't done that one yet. Then I'm just going to go back and look at my whole chart. So if I go to the G chart and I go to -3, okay, -3 is right here. What's my Y value? -3's partner is -2. And then in the calculator, type this in to get your final answer. So you would do 6 plus -2, just like that. 6 plus -2 is 4. Okay, now real quick. All of the top examples that we just worked were plus. Okay, so the other thing that you should be able to do is minus. So look at the next example right here. Okay, this time in the middle, it's a subtraction. Okay, subtract or minus. So you should be able to do them if they're a plus. You should be able to do them if you're a minus. You're just putting a different button in your calculator. So let's look at the first one. We want f of 2 minus g of -1. What is f of 2? Okay, look at your f of 2. We found it earlier. Come on, guys, you can do it. Okay, f of 2. Do you see it on your notes? What was f of 2? 6. Thank you. Minus. Then I'm looking for g of -1. So then I'm looking over here at my g's. What was my g of -1? It would be the 2. So then I do 6 minus 2. Okay, put it in your calculator. 6 minus 2, what do we get for that? 4. Okay. Last one like that, we want f of 1 minus g of 0. F of 1 minus g of 0. So f of 1, when I look at my f's, I see I don't have it here. So we're going to have to find it and use the graph. So then remember, how do I find f of 1? I'm going to go to 1 on the x-axis and then say how high or how low that point is. So let's do f of 1 right now. Look at your chart. Okay, 1 is here. And then how many boxes up to get to that dot? So if I trace 1 up, what do I get? That would be how many boxes up for 1? Okay, so 1 is here. Okay, let's put Chromebooks away, please. I see some of us are distracted. Okay, the notes take way longer when I'm just talking to myself. So we're finding f of 1. That's the question. So you're going to start at 1. Hi. And then you're going to trace up to see how many boxes. Thank you. So if 1 is here, how many up do I have to go to get to the dot? How many boxes? You know that? Yes? Okay. So you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where we're getting that. Okay. Then I want g of 0. So I'm going to look at the chart. Okay, 0 is here. And then what is the partner with 0? It goes with 4. Thank you. And then once I get the two numbers, okay, if it's a minus, you just put it in the calculator. Or if you know what's 4 minus 4 going to be, it's going to be 0. But you can also put it in here, 4 minus 4. It is 0. Okay. Let's try the next one. Okay, you can do it. First thing I want you to do is mark all the pretty points. Okay, so you have 2 more graphs. We're only looking for pretty points or perfect points. So I have one here. I don't want this one because it's in the middle. I have one here. Okay, then not perfect until here. Okay, then if I go the other way, I have one here and one here. Okay, but you only want perfect points. Okay. Then I'm going to look at the second graph, mark only the perfect points. So I have one here, 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 and here. Okay, so step 1, you're going to mark all your perfect points. Okay, then if you're trying to find f of 0, 0 is the x value. So you're going to go to 0 here. It's right there. And then you're gonna say, how many boxes away from 0? I have to go down how many? How many boxes? How many boxes down? From 1, very good. And because it's down 1, I'm gonna put -1. Okay, for the next one, I want f of 2, my x value is at 2. So I'm gonna find 2 here. 2 is right here. And then I'm gonna count how many boxes do I have to go up. So I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now notice that whenever it's F, I'm using the first one. Okay, that's my F versus this one is G. So for these, I'm gonna use this graph here. Okay, first point I want is G of 2. 2 is the X value. So I'm gonna go to 2 on the axis is right here. And then I'm gonna see how many up I have to go to find that number. So 2's partner is what? So 2 goes with 16, very good. Okay. Then for the next one, we want G of 6. So we're gonna go over to 6 here. And notice that I'm gonna stay right there on the x-axis. I'm not gonna go up or down, then that means 0. Okay, so that would be 0. Because you're not going up any boxes, you're not going down any boxes, you're staying right in the same spot. Okay, so now let's look at our examples. We have a few of them to do here. Okay, first one, we want f of 0 plus g of -2. So for f of 0, I'm gonna start here at 0. 0 is right here. And then my box is down 1. So that would be -1 plus. Next, I want g of -2. So I'm gonna find -2 first. -2 is right here. And then I'm gonna go down to this dot. How low is it? How many? -3. And then after, you're gonna put that in the calculator. So you're gonna do -1 plus -3, just like that. -1 plus -3 is -4. Okay. Try the next one. I want f of 2 plus g of 2. So f of 2, I'm gonna come over here to my graph. 2 is here. How many up? How many up? 5 plus, and then g of 2, I'm gonna use this graph. Go to 2, how many up? 16. And then once you know those two numbers, if it's a plus in the middle, you're gonna add them in the calculator. So you're gonna do 5 plus 16, how many? 21, very good, that's perfect. Okay. So once you get it to here, you can use the calculator to add those up. Okay, now take a look at the second row. Do you see that this time you have an extra number here? So let me show you how to do that. You're gonna keep the 3 the same. And then f of -2, you have to use parentheses. Okay, the only reason why you have to use parentheses on this one is because there's already a number in the front. Okay, but you're gonna work it almost the same way. So f of -2, look at your graph. So if I go to -2 here, and then I count how many boxes down, 1, 2, 3, that's gonna be a -3. And then for g of 4, I'm using the second graph. I would count out to 4 and then give how high or how low it is. So if I go to G of 4, let's look at our graph. Okay, you're going to 4 is here, and then how many up? So if I go to 4 and I trace across, what Y value is that? That would be 12. Yeah? And then from here, you're gonna put it in the calculator. Okay?
On number 5, is 2 to the negative 2.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is. So look at this one. F of negative 2. Wait, for which one?
Number 5.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, look at this one real quick. G of negative 2, sorry. Okay, negative 2 is this one. Okay, so you want to go to negative 2 and then see how it's right here. That actually should be a 0. You're right. And then negative 1 plus 0, let's put it in the calculator. Negative 1 plus 0 is negative 1. Okay. But you just want to make sure that you're looking at like the right graph, you know? Okay. So now take a look at the next one. I want 2G of 0. So I'm going to put parentheses plus F of 2. Okay, but you only need the parentheses if there's a number in the front. Okay, then you're going to find G of 0 and F of 2. Now, question. You're gonna, perfect. Okay, and then if you want to grab them, you can probably figure it out without the whole thing. Okay, if I want G of 0, I'm going to go to the graph of G. Now question, okay, which graph is the G? Is it the first graph or the second graph for G? Second, so I want to look at this one. And then I want G of 0, 0 is here. Go up, my number is 12. Next one that I want is F of 2. And F of 2 is which graph? The second graph or the first graph? F is the one that has the F on it is the first graph right here. And then I want F of 2. So I'm going to come out here to 2 and then count how many boxes up. It's going to be 5. Okay. Then once you find those two numbers, you're just going to put it in your calculator. So I would do 2 times 12 plus 5. 2 times 12 plus 5 is 29. Okay. Now, look at the next row. In the middle, is it still a plus or now is it a subtract? Okay, look for these. See in the middle, it's a subtract. So then when I put it in the calculator, I'm going to find those two numbers and I'm going to minus them. Okay, first number that we want is F of 2. Okay, and so F of 2, we found it before, but let's find it again. Okay, F is the first graph, find 2, and then trace up to 5. Okay, and then the second number I want is G of 0. So that means I'm using the second graph. I'm going to go to 0 and then put the Y value. So if I go to G of 0, that's this graph. Go to 0 would be right here. And if I go up, it's 12. And then what do I do with those two numbers in the calculator? 5 minus 12 because it's a minus in the middle. So 5 minus 12 is negative 7. Okay. All right, let's go down to this one now. Okay, I have G of 6, we'll find in a second, minus 4. And then because the 4 is in front, I'm going to use parentheses this time. Okay, but you only need parentheses if there's a number in the front. Then to find your G of 6, are you using the first graph or the second graph? If it's a G is graph number 1 or number 2? Number 2, very good. So G of 6 Go over here to 6 is right here. It's gonna be 0. Because you're not going up, you're not going down, you're staying right there in the middle. So G of 6 is a 0. And then we want to find F of 2. So you would look at your first graph at 2. 2 is right here. And then how many up is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be a 5. Okay, then once you get it to there, you're just putting it into your calculator. So you would do like this, 0 minus 4 parentheses 5, just like that. And you get negative 20. Okay? Negative 20. Okay, for the next one, we have G of 6 minus 4, and then F of 0, since it has a 4 in front, you're going to use parentheses. Okay, then look at your graph. G of 6, we just found it a minute ago, it was 0. And then F of 0, I'm going to go to the first graph. I'm going to find 0 on the x-axis and then say how high or how low it is. So for F of 0, I'm coming over here to 0 is in the middle. I have to go down 1, so that's a negative 1. Okay. Then from there, you're just going to put it in here. 0 minus 4, negative 1 in the parentheses. 0 minus 4, negative 1 in the parentheses. And my answer is 4. Okay? Okay. Go ahead and turn the page. We just have 6 more examples. Okay, turn the page to the next one. You'll notice that in the next example, instead of having graphs, you have charts. Okay, this one is ready to use. Okay, but for your first chart, you'll notice that your table is missing all of the numbers in the Y. So what I want you to do is in Y equals, put this equation. Okay, we learned how to do that from our last test. So going to Y equals, and then you're going to put this equation in. I'm going to come around. If you can figure it out, raise your hand. Okay, just like we did last test. So x squared minus 5x plus 10. Okay, so let's turn this on. Go into Y equals. And then you already have it with the second graph. Yep. Okay, then open up your chart. And you're only going to copy down the numbers that you actually need. Okay, so x squared minus 5x plus 10. And then open up your chart and you're only putting down the numbers you actually need. So my first number here should be 24, 16, 10, 6, 4, 4, 6. Okay. Then from there, you should be able to do add and subtract with whatever numbers that they pick. So if I want f of 0, I'm going to use the F chart. I'm going to find 0, and then what's the number with 0? 0 would be 10. Okay, then when I want G of negative 2, I'm going to use the one that says G, and I'm going to go to negative 2. The negative 2 is here, and the Y value is negative 5. Okay, then put that in the calculator. You can do it. 10 plus. Now, if you don't know how to get out of your table, okay, now that we're done with it, watch, I'll show you how to get out. Hit second, and then quit. And now you're in the normal calculator that you can do plus and minus. Okay, so it's second quit. And then I could do 10 plus -5 like that. Okay, so the answer comes out to 5. Okay. Okay, 5 more. Here we go. Next one I want is f of 2. F of 2. So you're looking in the F chart. What is the 2 partner? What number goes with 2? 4. Very good. That's right. Okay, and then in the middle, is it a plus or a minus? The minus. Very good. And then to find G of 2, I have to look at this chart. So I find my 2. My 2 is right here. What's the number with 2? 7. And then I take those 2 numbers and I put them in the calculator. So type it in, 4 minus 7. So 4 minus 7, -3. Very good. -3. Okay, next one. I have 3f of -2 plus 4. Because the 3's in the front, you're gonna have to do 3 parentheses. So you're still gonna find f of -2 using the chart, but because there's a 3 in the front of it, you're gonna put the parentheses. Okay, then look at your chart, f of -2. What is the number with -2 for f? Thank you. Okay, -2 is here. What's the partner? 24. And then you put your 24 there. And then G of 4, you're looking then at the second chart. Okay, remember F is the first one, G is the second one. So then G of 4 is gonna be 13. And then you're gonna take that, put it into the calculator to get your final answer. So 324 plus 13 gives me 85. Okay. Take a look at the next one. Anytime that your 2 is in the front, you're gonna need parentheses. Okay, find G of 0. So for G of 0, am I looking at the first chart or the second chart? If it's a G, the second chart, and then your X is gonna be 0. What is the partner with 0 in the second chart? 1, very good. Then I want f of 2. That means that I'm gonna look at the first chart, find 2, and then what's the partner for f of 2? 4, very good. And then from there, where do I put this? In the calculator to get your final answer. So you would do 2 parentheses 1 plus 4. So you get 6. Okay, we're just gonna do one more, and then we're gonna start on our practice. So take a look at this one. Do you see this time that you have 2 numbers in front? Okay, so that means that both of you're gonna need parentheses for both of them. So you're gonna do 4 parentheses minus a half parentheses. Okay, and then if I want f of 2, I'm gonna need to use chart number 1. So what is the number for f of 2 here? F of 2 goes with 4. And then when I want G of 3, I'm not using the first one, I'm using the second one. So G of 3, you'll look at this chart, find 3's partner. What's the number with 3? 3's partner is 10. Thank you. Okay, and then from there, you're just gonna put this into the calculator. Okay. So it would look just like this. Okay, 4 parentheses 4 minus 1/2 parentheses 10. Okay, but you only have to use parentheses if there's a number in the front. Okay, and it comes out to 11. Okay? All right, so open up your computer after we do our first homework question together.
And you
Yes. Yes. Okay, open up your computers and remember all of your practice is on deltamath.com. Okay, deltamath.com. So open up your computers, please. For the practice, yes? Anyone moment. Okay, so you're going to deltamath.com, please, on your computer. Okay, let's open them up. Okay, log in, and then we'll do the first one together. You have a computer? Alina, can we get out of the computer? Huh? Okay, are you a circle charger or a flat charger? Okay, I have one. Here you go, wait. Ready? Ready? Are you in the opener? Yes. Oh, thank you. Okay, once you get logged in, okay, you should only have one homework. And it should be this one right here, 3.1. The first skill is up on your screen. Should be this. Okay, everybody have it? Good? Okay. So do this one? Oh wait. Hold on 1 second. Kendall, I'll help you in a second. Okay, everybody see this question? Okay, you want to find the f of 8. So you're gonna find 8 on the x-axis, and then just say how high your pretty point is. Okay. So look, watch. 8 is here. And then you're gonna say how high the pretty point is. So I have to go all the way up. How many boxes? 9. 9 is the answer. Put it in the box. Okay, so you find 8 on the x-axis. And then just say how high it is. Number 1, the answer is 9. Okay? We're gonna do one more together and then I'm gonna give you some time to work. Number 2 is not a line, it's a quadratic. You want f of 2. So look, watch, in your graph, you're gonna go to 2, and then do I need to go up or down to find the pretty point? I have to go down, and I'm gonna go all the way until what number? Okay, it should be, a lot of kids in the other class were putting -8. Okay, but look, watch, it actually should be -9.
Yeah.
So 2's here. As I trace down, that's your pretty point. So you need to put -9 for number 2. Okay. So it's 9 for number 1, -9 for number 2. Okay. Now, in the next section, you're gonna have your own questions. So raise your hand, me and Mr. Rich will walk around and help if you need it, okay? And you can do all of your practice now.
It's 96.
Yes, but you're in line behind Kendall. Now, Kendall, la próxima pasado, or la clase pasado, tienes un largo tiempo en el baño, más corto hoy, ¿sí? Okay. ¿Estás visitando a su amiga?